Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today, we're going to do the tarot scopes for the sign of Cancer. That's Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising for the month of January 2025. I want to remind you that we are in a new universal year vibration as January begins. Last year, 2024, we were in an 8 vibration. An 8 vibration is a manifesting vibration, it's a time of harvest. It is a time of manifestation, right? And so many things were manifested in 2024. Now, as we enter 2025, we go to the next stage of that process, and that is the separation of the wheat from the chaff. We have in front of us the harvest of our toils and our labor, and now we get to decide what we want to keep and what we want to let go of. Okay, and so for the next cycle beginning in 2026, which is a 10-1 vibration year. 10-1 is always about change. The last 10-1 year that we all experienced together was 2017, the first year that Donald Trump was president of the United States. The one before that, which was actually the first time we moved into a 10-1 vibration energetically, was in 2008 when Barack Obama beat John McCain for president of the United States. It just happens that these things seem to fall along with elections, but we can certainly see the changes that occurred by voting in Obama, and then the changes that occurred by voting in, and I'll put that in quotes, Trump. And now we have Donald Trump again. This cycle, this 9 year. So it is the 9 year of his 10-year cycle that began with his presidency in 2017. So there are a lot of things that we'll be going through. And I hate to bring the political stuff in, but it does give you a perspective because you can see that we are at a point where we're going to have to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and then come from a new place when 2026 rolls around. The other thing about this year is that there are a lot of changes. All the outer planets are changing signs, except for Pluto, which just moved into Aquarius and will be there for the next 19 years. So the only planet that's really sort of stable in its sign is the planet of change and transformation in the sign of technology. So to say we're going to go through leaps and bounds, both technically, emotionally, and the world in general, the face of the world over the next 12 years is a giant understatement. So we will see how that pans out as we move through those years. I'm going to be doing a tarot reading with the Modern Spellcasters deck, but before we get there, I want to take a look at the astrology for you, a Cancer. So let us share the link here. All right. So we're moving on to Cancer, and oh, we're moving on to Cancer. Yes, there we go. All right, so we can see here where all the planets are sort of sitting as January begins. We do have actually a full moon in your sign that is happening on the 13th of January, and it's very close to Mars retrograde, and it's in your first house. Your first house is house of who you are. So there's a real struggle, especially as once Mars moves into Cancer, which happens on January 6th, which happens to be a tower vibration day. Um, it moves into Cancer and then stays there, going retrograde until February 23rd, all the way back to 17 degrees of Cancer. And then it starts its journey back over the degrees that it went retrograde in, and really isn't done with this whole sort of retrograde cycle, seeing how that has worked its way out, so to speak, until about May. So excuse me, that Mars retrograde cycle that started in December 6th to be exact, is um, a potent player in half the year, and I will say the most active half of the year energetically. March and April are shit shows, honestly. We don't really even know what's going to happen, but we will go through that when the time comes, right? We don't want to look too far ahead. We're just going to look at January. So the fact that we do have Mars move from your second house to your first house, your energy moves from your resources, perhaps making money, right, to yourself. So this is a time where it's really important for self-care, Cancer. You have to take care of yourself during this period, and almost maybe to even the exclusion of what you're seeing going on in the outer world, just so you can shore yourself up for the year ahead. We have Mercury out of its retrograde now, starting in Sag, shortly moving into Capricorn, spending most of the month in Capricorn, and then at the end of the month, moving into Aquarius. So it actually goes in the month of January, it goes at least partly through two signs and fully through Capricorn. Capricorn in that 12 in that excuse me, sixth house of your partnerships. This would be a good time to like sit down with your partners, whether they be, marriage partners or, partners that you're doing something with where money is concerned, and figure out the money. Just sort of get your P's and Q's, dot your I's, cross your T's, do all of that. Mercury is direct, so it's not going to be as much of an issue. Mars is retrograde, so that your directions, like finding your direction forward is going to be difficult, but your your ability to analyze in a very practical, pragmatic manner uh, things around perhaps money in your relationships is highlighted. We do have the sun also as we start the year in your 12th house of relation. I'm sorry, 7th house of relationship, and then on the 19th it moves into Aquarius, moving into your 8th house, which is more shared resources. It's more about your taxes. This is a good time to really, like, towards the end of January, to really take a good look. And again, make sure your I's are dotted, and everything's crossed. So I feel like financially, it's a really good time for you and your partner, whoever you share your resources with, to get everything sort of settled. We do have a new moon in Aquarius happening on the 20, hold on, on the 29th of the month. We also have Mercury making a conjunction to Mercury, will be here with Pluto, a conjunction. That's the start of a new synodic cycle with Mercury, the mind, and Pluto, the soul, the world soul. So the world soul is planting an idea in your energies, so to speak. Okay. We have Venus start the month in Aquarius, but then shortly moves into Pisces, where it spends most of the month. Venus loves being in Pisces. Venus in the ninth house in Pisces can be compassion for those who are less fortunate, who are not treated fairly. And so you may even want to, you might find yourself donating to Save the Children, or some sort of foreign, like helping people far away, to who are in worse shape or dire straits than you. You might find yourself doing that. Okay, the full moon, I actually said that in Cancer, in that first house, a highly emotional time with Mars retrograde there. The nodes of the moon are shifting. The nodes of the moon over the last, say, 18 months have been in Aries and North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, renegotiating our contracts, North Node in Aries, being your authentic self, um, and Mars ruled, North Node ruled by Mars, which is now retrograde, and then actually moves into Cancer, and then the nodes shift into Pisces. And so the last thing the North Node is really exposed to while being in Aries is a retrograde Mars in Cancer. And where that happens to be retrograde in your chart will determine, in a way, uh, a point of awareness to a new start. But you may have to do some healing to get there. And then, of course, with the North Node moving through the ninth house in the sign of Pisces, there can be confusion or there can be healing. Okay? All right. Jupiter is still in your 12th house. That's a great place for Jupiter in Gemini. Lots of dreams, Lots of information coming in through your dreams. You really need to be keeping a dream journal. Uranus still in that 11th house, shaking up your friendships. Every time you get a new goal, there's a little shake up. You have to do another one. That is actually going to move into Gemini this year, but then move back into Capricorn. I mean, back into Taurus, excuse me. And Jupiter is going to move um, out of Gemini and into Cancer, into that first house, which is really good for bringing healing energy to your physical body, but it can also be expansion of your physical body. So you'll probably have to watch your diet for about a year. All right. And you're oops, sorry. And you're a Cancer, so you've been watching your diet your whole life, and most of it, at least for this Cancer, is watching the food go in the mouth and saying, that's tasty. Oh my God. All right, let's take a look at the tarot. And I'm using the Modern Spellcasters, and I'm getting it out of my little, this is my giblets bag. And look, it's got a tail. And for those of you who know who knew Jibs is a Cancer. Like me, with an Aries moon, just like his mama. So funny bunny, that guy. All right, the sage that is Giblets. All right. For those of you who don't know, that's Ona's from Ona's Tarot's little Frenchie. All right. Who usually is seen on uh, Sundays, Sunday mornings, Sunday early afternoon with Time Out with Giblets, who he pulls a card for us. So always a good good thing to go by. All right. Almost feels ready. If you're wondering, how do I know? It's just that you just get a feeling. I just get a feeling. Some people do it like with, I'll shuffle 7 times and cut them 3 times, and you could do it that way. Sometimes I get like that. Depends on how in my right brain or how in my left brain I am. All right, so we start with the Eight of Cups. This indicates that you've put a lot of effort into something that hasn't really panned out. And you're thinking to yourself, look, everything that I've done, and now there's really nothing left for me here. So this really speaks to a sense of wanting to move away from things that no longer spiritually fulfill you, honestly. It can be a abandoned success card. So you may have been very successful in something that you've decided that you want to turn your back on now because it just, time is a precious commodity. And for those of us who are older, we kind of really realized that, you get around your 60s, which is when I noticed, and you're like, you know what? If I'm lucky, I'll have 30 more years of health. Oh, if I'm lucky, I'll have 30 more years of health, but it's possible that that's not. So all of a sudden you start looking at things very differently. And of course, that also pertains to the idea of having to self-care, right? So the challenge is finding your spark again, finding something that does inspire you. It's almost like you know what doesn't work right now, but you're not quite sure of what does work. Let's see what's in the. We have the Two of Swords in at the outcome. So it's almost like you're at a place of you can't make a decision. You can't make a decision, and the question is that wolf there as her pet, or is that wolf there to get her? We don't know. We don't quite know, but it is a point of balance, and at some point you're going to have to make the decision. Now let's see what's in the past. We have the Two of Pentacles. You've been balancing the finances, you've been balancing your life, you've been really concentrating on trying to keep things on a stable sort of a stable place, a stable place. Almost like you've been trying to, I almost feel like these ships are, now are they coming in or are they going out? they're just going past, it looks like. Maybe some are going out, some are coming in. So there's this push, pull, in, out, balance, balance, energy. Another two. So it's also a decision, but I'm not sure the decision has been made yet. Let's see what's in the sky. The Four of Pentacles. So um, Spirit is saying that protect the resources that you have, that you've worked hard for. Make sure they're shored up. Make sure nobody can actually take them from you. Um, one of the things that I've noticed, and I think this is going to become more and more, one of the most precious things, at least in this United States, is having a place to live. It's the thing that is sometimes hardest to sort of get uh, and maintain. And there's a lot of people out there who are making money on your uh, instability when it comes to housing. So I think that it's vitally important that you set yourself up so that you're kind of stable in where you are, and not allow people to take advantage. And also like, oh, you can have this and that and this. I always love these advertisements that say, oh, take the equity out of your home and pay off your debt. So you're paying off your debt to one thing and then owing it to them. It's like, no, let's, of course you might have to do that, and there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you have to do. But how about like deciding where the money's going to go and how you're going to spend it and what's really needed and what's not, and and then building equity in your life. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to own something to build equity in your life. You have to understand what you're worth. You have to understand your own value in these things and just how precious you are. And when you do that, you start to appreciate yourself more, and then you're a little bit more careful about your resources. In the immediate future, we have the Five of Pentacles. This can be, the wolf at the door. It's so interesting that I would say that, right? So what I would say is um, protect your homestead. Protect your homestead. Yeah. Five of Pentacles. Let's see how it's seen from the outside. This is the Ten of Cups has a little bit of a delusionary quality to it, but it's also happiness. It's also happiness. So people actually see you as quite content and happy, and you may very well be that. I don't think they understand maybe the challenges or the financial challenges that you've been under. It seems all calm, cool, and collected and idyllic, but it's not that it's not idyllic, it's that you've had to work for that. It didn't just, it just didn't happen. But you make it look easy, maybe. All right. A domestic situation, we have the Ten of Swords. So there may be something around the home here, making a decision to leave something behind. An old life, an old relationship, something that is, again, there's this sense of something in your life is no longer fulfilling, and it is time for you to move on in some way. But in the from the time of deciding what you're going to do and moving on, you have to be very careful. You have to make sure that you're doing what's best for you. Okay? Hopes and fears of the Page of Swords. I think this is a fear that you're not reading the room well enough. Uh, Outcome, Nine of Wands. So this is saying protect your boundaries. Again, there's this sense of protection. It's like the decision can be made, but you have to make sure that you're keeping healthy boundaries. Let's see if we can get a major arcana. The Seven of Cups. This is delusion and illusion. The Eight of Wands, lots of information. So you're going to be getting a lot of information. I feel like you're going to get a lot of mail. Like people will be like, do this, do that, do this, do that. A lot of ideas coming your way. And the outcome, temperance is to be very circumspect, very careful, one foot in front of the other. Don't make any sudden moves or make any sudden decisions. Healing is here and on the way. Underneath it, we have the Five of Swords, which is abuse of power. The Magician, which can be manipulation or can be you taking control of your life. And then the King of Cups, which is about having dominion over your feelings, perhaps making better decisions, uh, not from a place of people try. I want to feel like there are people who are trying to create some sort of disruption, and you have the power to keep your head about you. This is a Cancer card, actually, the King of Cups. Cool. All right. Well, that's interesting. All right. So let me pull a oracle card. I'm using the Tree of Life Oracle. Okay. So as I shuffle these, I'm going to ask, what does Cancer need to know? What did I do with the cards? Oh, here they are. All right. What does Cancer need to be aware of in January? Tree of Life Oracle. Speak to me, Tree of Life Oracle. So I am going to be, I'm starting a membership on the new moon in Capricorn, which happens on the 30th. I have two tiers that I've figured out. One is just a base tier, just a little extra. If you want to support me, you can support me that way. You'll get all the same things. Um, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be doing the mornings through the garden. I'm going to be doing the tower scopes every month. I'm going to be doing moonshine, moon shadows. Ona does moonshine. We'll still be doing Mystic Sisters Live. That'll be available to everybody. Where I think I am going to sort of circumscribe some of my work is making old videos about political figures and the like available to my members. They'll be all organized, and so you can go back. Some of them are quite. I've been on YouTube for a long time, so you'll be able to have access to that, and they'll be organized in a way that you can actually find stuff. Uh, and and then I'm also going to be doing twice a month for those, uh, and I'll be doing some special stuff for even the lowest the lowest tier, but the second tier up, I'll be putting out 2 new videos a month on a topic that needs further looking into. In the case of January, I'm going to be doing something on Mars retrograde. And how, just the energy of that and what's being activated. And then also I'm going to be doing something on the nodes changing signs. So you can, I'll probably be doing that the second one. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be doing for members. Um, but I'll still be doing the occasional card reading, as it were. And I'm also going to be doing some live stuff in the membership. So I feel like I can speak more freely. All right. Oh, here we go. Judgment, Aeon, fortitude, renewal, truths revealed. The Judgment card, the 31st path. This is called a perpetual intelligence. It is associated with the planet Pluto. See, Pluto. Death and rebirth. This looks a little like a phoenix, doesn't it? Judgment, 20. It's the 20 vibration, 20. All right. Okay, so 20, twos are always about choices. Okay, here we go. Fortitude, renewal, and truths revealed. I'll just hold it up because such a pretty card. Make sure you can see it. Here we go. The path runs between Malkuth and Hod and is Pluto in astrology. Here you get to mix the energies of your earthly being in Malkuth with the mercurial magic of Hod. The phoenix, a bird of fire, rises from the ashes, a process will repeat over, and this process will repeat over and over again. It can't be comfortable, but it is necessary in order to transform. You are being asked to notice your inner fire, how it works for you, and if you currently feel you're in the egg, the bird, or the fire phase of the situation. Are you flying high, waiting for the moment to crack things open, or are you ready to take on whatever is needed to transform the situation? Relationship matters of all kinds could need more attention, but first note that some of your greatest moments of growth will come from one-to-one connections. Someone may have taken a decision that seems to you ruthless or inconsiderate when you have done something. When have you done something similar? Judgment is easy, but not moving through it to understand the transformative experiences. A trial by fire can be overcome now, and you will emerge stronger for it. Immerse yourself in the heart of the moment, knowing you're making big changes. So you are making big changes, but you have to move forward very carefully, which honestly, cancers generally are pretty careful about. Well, actually, crabs can't move forward. They can only move sideways and backwards. So you might have to turn yourself a little bit and move forward by moving sideways. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe face a different direction and then boop, 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 and then face the other direction, boop, 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 and then face the other direction, boop, 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 right? But with Mars retrograde in Cancer, it's and moving backwards all year. I mean, all month for you, Cancer. It's actually the way you're used to doing things, moving backwards. That's Cancer. Crabs can't move forward. They can only move sideways and backwards. So maybe we spend January moving backwards, reassessing, and when the time is right, we start to move forward. So big decisions ahead, Cancer. Have yourself a great month. Like and subscribe if you would. As I said, if you'd like to become a member of my channel, that's going to become available on the new moon. That's the 30th of December, just a couple of days. And I'll still be here, whether you're a member or not. And welcome to my new subscribers and to my tried and true. I so appreciate you walking this path with me. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you again in February. Namaste.